So in this training, I'm going to cover what you need to put on your homepage, the most visited and most important pages on your website. We're going to talk about pages that sell, your blog or media hub, and then, of course, the role of social media and how that actually ties in with search engine optimization. Okay, so does your website pass the Google test? Is your website, going to make Google happy? Is it going to make your audience happy? Is it going to help people really understand what you do? So the first thing you need to think about is your homepage. Your homepage is where people go when they look at your business card. Your homepage is a place where they go when people hear about you on a podcast. It's going to be very important because that's going to be the first impression when people have heard your name. So what does Google expect to find here? Google expects to find a good picture of who you really are. And when I say picture, I don't mean a real picture of you. I mean a picture that you build with your copy, with your words, with the elements that you put on the page. So Google tends to, not only Google actually, but all search engines, they will not visit every page on your site. They will keep coming back to the homepage of your site. And if they find changes and interesting things there, they will go to the other bits of your website. So it's very important that when you think of your homepage, you think of it as the place that the bot comes to check if there is anything new. So it's very important that any changes go in this site. You need to show Google or any other search engine through this page, basically, that you are an active business. So your homepage cannot really be fixed or static. It cannot be a content cemetery. You can't just put things there and not move them at all. So it's good to have a section, which you have probably seen in a lot of sites, a section where basically whenever you have new blog posts or new videos or anything new that goes on your site, you can have like a featured section in your homepage where there is new content. That way, when the bot comes to your homepage, it finds new links and it goes deeper into your website. So Google also wants to see that people are linking back to you. So if you have the opportunity to maybe be on a podcast, to maybe you write for the Huffington Post or Thrive Global, or maybe you know someone who does write for these sites, then you can ask them to write an article about your topic, or maybe you can contribute an article yourself and link back to your homepage, making sure that you're using the keywords, the main keywords that describe you also in your website. So that's definitely something you can do to boost your homepage. The second page we need to think about is the About page. This is going to be one of the most visited pages on your website. People who land on your website and are interested in what you do are going to check you out. So what we tend to say sort of in terms of web copy is that this is a very important page. Most of the people who visit your site are going to have a look at it, and it is going to be probably one, if not the first, the second most visited page on your website. So what you need to do is make sure that this not only explains what you do, but it also sort of works a little bit like a sales page. So you need to think that you need to connect through this page with your audience. So to have an image here is going to be very important. Ideally one where you have eye contact with the people who scroll your page. And in terms of the copy, you need to think, okay, so what would I talk about if I had a prospect in the room, a lead, or somebody who is a potential client of mine? How would I talk to them about their own problems that I solve? How would I talk about what I do? And this is the kind of stuff that needs to go in your About page. Okay, so in terms of length, you could have a short page, which is perfectly fine. You could have maybe a long page, which is also broken down into logical sections. It all depends on how much you have to say. Some people also like to place a video there which is very, very useful because not everybody likes to read. So your about page is going to be very important. In terms of actually ranking of search engines, it probably will not rank. Your Facebook page and your homepage are likely to actually rank better for your name. But it's important because this is going to be the next page people click on. And you always need to keep in mind that Google is watching people, how they behave on your site. So Google is watching how people behave on your site, how long they stay there. So, everything that you create for your audience, you are also creating for optimization and helping you rank better. So the next thing is to look at your services or your sales pages. Now, in this case, if you're selling products, it would be your product catalog. And in the terms of services, you probably only have 2 or 3 pages that talk about what you do. Now, we cannot expect these pages to rank very well. In terms of services, you would ideally have really well-written sales copy. So this is going to be a sales page. It's not going to be a page that's kind of informative and, and can be optimized very much for search engines. So again, it's important because the title of these pages are going to be used by search engines to understand what you do and who you do it for. But I think the most important thing about these pages is going to be that you draw people down to your book my discovery call button or to my buy button. And of course, you want people to take action. So the main goal for these is to take action. Of course, when it comes to products, you can also go in and you can write copy that helps that product page rank, but it's going to be a little bit difficult in the sense that if you have a lot of products, you have to create descriptions that are completely unique to all the other products on the internet. So if you are still starting out, this may not be a priority, but it's something to consider when you have more resources on hand. Okay, so the next thing is the one thing I talk about most, and that is, should my website have a blog or a media hub? And the answer is a definite yes. Your website is not going to be active unless you have a blog or a media hub. And I sometimes call it a media hub because your blog doesn't necessarily only carry text. It can carry infographics, it can carry videos, it can carry your podcast, it can carry your audible meditations, it can carry anything that you create for your audience. What matters is that you don't let your content disappear into social media oblivion, because what tends to happen is we write and we create so many posts and so many images and we post them on social media, and then, literally just 24 hours later, they're gone. We would have to scroll so far down to find our old content. So how can we expect our audience to actually find it when they have not only our content, but everyone else's as well? So what I would say is, in order to get the most mileage out of every single piece of content that you write, make sure that you also put them on your website and that you optimize them so that they can rank in search engines and give you organic free traffic from search engines. What this will also do, it will help make your site more popular, because to the bots or to the search engines, it's going to look active and it's going to look like you have a thriving business. Now, I'm not saying don't post on social media. That is important as well. And in fact, that brings me to my next point, which is basically you have to still post on social media because these are very good search engine signals and they will help you rank. So it's very, very important. Okay, so what are the 3 things that Google wants to know about you so that, you look like a respectable, active business? So like I just mentioned, your website has to be active. So you need to have consistent new content. It is better to have content just once a week, if that's all you can do, or just twice a month, than to, post every day for a month and then do nothing for the rest of the year. So consistency, you've probably heard this a million times, consistency is key. Okay, so Google also wants to know that your marketing is alive and well. So social media signals, what are you doing on social media that is linking back to your website? Make sure that all your social media profiles point back to your site so that Google understands that there is a connection. And of course, when I say Google, I mean main search engines, but you know, it is good to focus on one specific one because usually then the others follow. Okay, and my final tip for you is the design. So make sure that your design is very simple. Sometimes we see very flashy menus and, lots of buttons and, you can sometimes I actually have seen e-commerce sites that have like 40 buttons in the main menu and videos and images. These kind of menus actually cannot be seen by search engines. So it's really not a good idea to have anything fancy. The simpler the technology, the more longevity your website is going to have and the more visibility you're going to have for search engines. Design is a topic that we can definitely get into a lot deeper, but this is becoming a long video. So what I'm going to do is, if you want to cover this topic any deeper or any of the topics that I just mentioned, feel free to let me know in the comments and I will answer your questions. And why not? I will also create more videos about it. So how did your website fare? How did you assess your website while I was talking about all these tips? Was there something important that I mentioned that you feel you missed out on? Well, let me know in the comments and I will be sure to get back to you.